The coffee cup sat inches from my lips when I saw her hand move. One deliberate switch. No words. No eye contact. Just a waitress replacing my drink and walking away like nothing happened. I should have been annoyed. Instead, every instinct screamed that something was very, very wrong. 30 seconds later, the cook hit the floor, convulsing. That's when I realized the woman in the tired uniform and scuffed sneakers had just saved my life. But here's the thing that still keeps me up at night. She knew exactly who I was. She knew I had something she desperately needed. And she saved me anyway. My name is Vincent Ashford. I'm worth $8.4 billion. And I was almost murdered in a town so small it doesn't even have a stoplight. This is that story. But before we dive in, if you love stories about ordinary people doing extraordinary things, hit that like button and subscribe. Trust me, you won't want to miss where this goes. Now let me take you back to 3 weeks ago. I've learned that being a billionaire makes you a target. Not just for hackers or con artists, but for people who believe your death might shift markets, change board votes, or settle old scores. That's why, when the third envelope arrived at my office with nothing inside but a photo of my morning coffee and the words, "Soon," scrawled across it, my head of security didn't mess around. "Mr. Ashford, we need to move you. Now!" Gerald had been with me for 12 years. Former Secret Service. The man once threw himself between me and a photographer's scrum so aggressively that it made TMZ. When Gerald used that tone, I listened. Move me where? Somewhere random. Somewhere you'd never go. Somewhere they'd never predict. That's how Vincent Ashford, CEO of Ashford Biotech, ended up driving a rented Honda Civic through the backroads of rural Montana. No security detail. No driver. Just me, a fake name on a credit card, and strict instructions to keep moving until Gerald's team identified who was sending those threats. I'd been on the road for 4 days when I rolled into Greystone. Population 1,247. The kind of place where everyone knows everyone, which ironically made it perfect. A stranger would stand out, sure, but a billionaire? Nobody would believe it. The diner appeared like a mirage after 6 hours of driving through mountain passes. Rosie's, in faded red letters. Half the neon was dead. The parking lot was more pothole than pavement. Perfect. I needed coffee. I needed food. I needed to not look over my shoulder for 20 damn minutes. The bell above the door chimed as I walked in. Torn vinyl booths. Checkered floor tiles. The smell of burnt coffee and fryer grease. A few locals glanced up, sized me up as an outsider, then went back to their meals. Exactly what I needed. Sit anywhere, Han. The voice came from behind the counter. I turned, and that's when I first saw her. Sophia. Though I didn't know her name yet. Mid-20s. Dark hair pulled back in a ponytail. The kind of tired that lives in your bones, not just your eyes. Her uniform was clean, but worn, the name tag slightly crooked. She had a coffee pot in one hand and a smile that looked like it required effort. I slid into a booth by the window. Old habit, always keep an eye on your exit. She approached with a menu and that coffee pot. Long day? She asked, flipping over my cup. Long week. Know the feeling. She poured without asking. Special today is meatloaf. I'd skip it. The turkey club is your best bet, and the fries are actually good. He looked around, saw that the other waitress was busy with a table of truckers, and added whatever it was to a single cup. My cup. He poured coffee from the regular pot into it, stirred it, then set it on the pickup counter. I watched Sophia approach the counter. Watched her see the cup. Watched her eyes flick to the cook, to me, then back to the cup. She picked it up. Started walking toward my table. This was it. I needed to leave. Now. Just stand up and... But something in her body language stopped me. She wasn't walking like someone delivering a poisoned drink. She was walking like someone making a decision. The diner was crowded now. Lunch rush. People everywhere. Sophia navigated through them with the practiced ease of someone who'd been doing this for years. She was 10 feet away. 7 feet. 5. She reached my table. Set down the coffee cup. No. Wait. In one fluid motion, so smooth I almost missed it, she pretended to adjust the plates on her tray, blocked the view with her body, and switched the cup. The one that had been in her hand went to a different table, an old man who just sat down. A fresh cup from her tray appeared in front of me. She met my eyes for just a fraction of a second. There was a message there, clear as words. Don't drink the other one. Then she was gone, moving to the next table, taking orders, the perfect waitress. My heart was hammering. I looked at the coffee cup in front of me. Looked at the kitchen. The cook was watching the old man's table, waiting for something. I didn't touch the coffee. 5 minutes passed. The old man, God, the old man, he reached for the cup Sophia had left there. Lifted it to his lips. I was half out of my seat, ready to shout, when Sophia appeared out of nowhere. "Oh shoot, sir, I'm so sorry." "That's cold. Let me get you a fresh one." She swept the cup away before he could protest. The cook's expression darkened. Sophia disappeared into the back. I heard running water. She was dumping it. That's when everything went sideways. The cook stormed out from the kitchen. "Sophia? What the hell? I just made that pot." "It was cold, Ray. Customer wanted fresh." "That was a new pot. I just..." He stopped mid-sentence. Grabbed the coffee pot from the warmer. Poured himself a cup as if to prove a point. "See? Fresh in." He took a long drink. His face changed instantly. The cup fell from his hand, shattered on the floor. His knees buckled. He grabbed the counter, but his hands weren't working right. Foam appeared at the corners of his mouth. "Ray!" The other waitress screamed. He hit the ground convulsing. The diner erupted into chaos. Someone was calling 911. Someone else was trying to help Ray. Sophia stood frozen, her face pale, staring at the man on the ground. I watched the whole thing like it was happening in slow motion. Ray had poisoned the coffee meant for me. Sophia had switched it. And Ray, in his arrogance, had drunk from what he thought was the clean pot. EMTs arrived in 8 minutes. Felt like 8 hours. They worked on Ray right there on the diner floor. I heard one of them say, "Unknown toxin and possible ingestion." They loaded him onto a gurney and rushed him out. Police came next. State troopers. They cleared the diner, started taking statements. I gave mine using my fake name, kept it simple. Just a guy passing through who saw a cook collapse. Nothing more. But I kept watching Sophia. She was talking to a deputy, her face pale but composed. She didn't mention switching the cups. Didn't mention seeing anything suspicious. Smart. If whoever hired Ray knew she'd interfered, she'd be next. The police finally let people leave around 3 p.m. I walked out to my car, every nerve on edge. I needed to call Gerald. Needed to get somewhere safe. Needed to. "Mr. Ashford." I spun around. Sophia stood 10 feet away, car keys in her hand. "I don't know what your picture was in Forbes last month. The billionaire racing to cure the incurable. I recognize you." My hand went to my phone. How many people had she told? Was she working with them? "Relax," she said, reading my panic. "I haven't told anyone. Won't tell anyone. I needed you to know that I knew." "Why?" She laughed, but there was no humor in it. "Because I wanted you to understand that I didn't save you for a reward. I didn't do it expecting anything. I did it because watching someone get murdered over my meatloaf station wasn't something I could live with. That man tried to poison me. You saved my life. You should tell the police. And say what? That I saw a stranger hand my cook an envelope and assumed he was being paid to poison a billionaire I happened to recognize? They'd think I was crazy. No, better to let them think Ray just got into something bad on his own. She was probably right. I need to thank you. I started. I can. I don't want your money, Mr. Ashford. Everyone wants my money. Her expression hardened. You don't know me. You don't know anything about me. She turned to leave. Wait. I don't know why I said it. Maybe because someone had just saved my life and was walking away expecting nothing. Maybe because I'd spent so long surrounded by people who only saw dollar signs when they looked at me. At least let me know your name. Your real name. She hesitated. Sophia. Sophia Chen. Thank you, Sophia. You saved my life. I owe you. You don't owe me anything. Just stay safe, okay? Whoever wanted you dead, they're still out there. She got in her car, an ancient Honda with a dented bumper, and drove away. I stood in that parking lot for a long time, watching her taillights disappear. I called Gerald from the road. Sir, where are you? You've missed 3 check-ins. Montana. Small town called Greystone. Someone just tried to poison me. Silence. Then, I'm sending a team. Don't move. The police are already involved. The guy who tried to poison me drank it himself by accident. He's in the hospital. Then we need to get you out of there before whoever hired him tries again. I'm tracking your phone. Stay in your car. Lock the doors. Help is 20 minutes out. But I couldn't stop thinking about Sophia. She'd recognized me. Saved me anyway. She'd said she didn't want money, didn't expect anything. People don't do that. Not in my world. Gerald's team arrived in a convoy of black SUVs that probably doubled Greystone's annual stranger count. They swept me up, secured me in the middle vehicle, and we were gone within minutes. We'll take you to a safe house in Seattle, Gerald explained. No one knows about it. Former FBI director uses it. You'll be secure while we figure out who's behind this. I need you to look into someone. Sophia Chen, waitress at the diner. I want to know everything about her. Gerald's eyes narrowed. Sir, you think she was involved? No. Opposite. She saved me. I need to know who she is. The safe house was a penthouse apartment with bulletproof windows and a panic room. Luxury prison. Gerald posted guards. I spent 3 days there while his team worked. The news from Greystone wasn't good. Ray Holloway, the cook, died in the hospital. Toxicology showed a rare alkaloid poison, military grade. The FBI got involved. They found $50,000 cash in Ray's apartment, but no trace of who'd hired him. The man in the suit had disappeared. Security footage from the diner was too grainy to identify him. Dead end. But Gerald's research on Sophia was thorough. Too thorough. Sophia Chen, 26. Lives in Greystone. Been working at Rosie's Diner for 4 years. Before that, she was pre-med at Montana State. Full scholarship. Dropped out in her 3rd year. Why? Her younger sister, Emily Chen, was diagnosed with chronic progressive MS aggressive form. Sophia left school to work and take care of her. They have no other family. Parents died in a car accident when Sophia was 20. He showed me the medical records his team had pulled. Emily Chen's condition was deteriorating. Wheelchair-bound. Losing motor function. None of the standard treatments were working. There's more, Gerald continued. Emily's neurologist recently recommended her for an experimental trial. New drug. Still in phase 2 testing. Not FDA approved. The drug is Neurostim 7. I finished. My drug? My company's experimental treatment for progressive neurological conditions. Gerald nodded. She was rejected from the trial. Not enough slots. They're taking only 50 patients nationwide. I sat back, the pieces falling into place. Sophia had recognized me from the Forbes article about Neurostim 7. She knew I controlled access to the one thing that might save her sister. And when she saw someone trying to kill me, she saved me anyway. She'd chosen my life over her sister's only hope. The weight of that hit me like a truck. Give me everything on Emily Chen's medical condition. I want our top neurologist reviewing her case. Now! Sir, we're in the middle of a security crisis. Someone just tried to. Now, Gerald. 3 days later, I had answers. Dr. Patricia Wong, our lead researcher on Neurostim 7, spent 6 hours reviewing Emily Chen's case. Her conclusion, Emily was a perfect candidate. Better than perfect. Her specific genetic markers suggested she'd respond exceptionally well to treatment. Why wasn't she accepted? I demanded. Politics, frankly. We're still in trials. Limited slots. Priority went to patients with better insurance, better connections, cases that would look good in our data. Emily Chen was just a name on a wait list. Not anymore. Get her in the program. Mr. Ashford, I need to remind you we have protocols. If it gets out that you're giving special treatment, this isn't special treatment. You just said she's an ideal candidate. We're fixing a mistake. Dr. Wong smiled. I'll make the calls. But even as I said it, I knew it wasn't enough. Sophia had saved my life expecting nothing, asking for nothing. The least I could do was tell her face to face. Gerald tried to stop me. Sir, whoever tried to kill you is still out there. Going back to Greystone is. I'll take a security team. But I'm going. Rosie's diner looked exactly the same. Faded sign. Pothole parking lot. But the bell above the door felt different this time. Louder. Like an announcement. Sophia was wiping down a booth when I walked in. She looked up, saw me, and her expression went through a dozen emotions in 2 seconds. Surprise, confusion, wariness, and finally resignation. She approached slowly. Mr. Ashford, didn't expect to see you again. Especially not here. I needed to talk to you. Can you take a break? She glanced at the clock. I'm on until 6. I'll wait. I ordered coffee, different cook now, older woman who looked like she'd worked there for decades, and sat in the same booth as before. Watched Sophia work. She moved with practiced efficiency, taking orders, delivering food, chatting with regulars. These people knew her, trusted her. This was her world. 6 o'clock finally came. Sophia hung up her apron, said something to the other waitress, and walked over to my booth. Okay. You've got 15 minutes. Emily needs her medication at 6:30. Your sister. How is she? Sophia's eyes narrowed. How do you know about my sister? I looked into you. After what happened, I needed to understand who you were. Why you did what you did. That's creepy. That's thorough. Sophia, you saved my life. You knew who I was. You knew what my company does. You knew about Neurostim 7. She stood up. If you came here to accuse me of something, I came here to thank you. And to tell you that Emily's been accepted into our trial program. Sophia froze. What? Dr. Patricia Wong reviewed Emily's case personally. She's an ideal candidate. Better than ideal. The fact that she wasn't accepted initially was an oversight. We're correcting that. Emily starts treatment in 2 weeks at our Seattle facility. All expenses covered. Sophia sat down slowly, like her legs had stopped working. I can't afford. All expenses covered. I repeated. Travel, accommodation, treatment, everything. The trial program provides it. Why? Her voice was barely a whisper. Why are you doing this? Because you saved my life expecting nothing in return. Because your sister deserves the same chance as anyone else. Because it's the right thing to do. Tears were streaming down her face now. I can't accept charity. It's not charity. Emily qualifies for the program on her own merits. Dr. Wong will tell you the same thing. You can call her directly if you don't believe me. Sophia's hands were shaking. My sister, she's been getting worse. Last month she couldn't hold a fork. This week she can barely speak clearly. I've been watching her fade away, and I couldn't. There was nothing I could. She broke down completely. Right there in the booth. Years of exhaustion and fear and holding it together just collapsed. I didn't say anything. Just pushed a napkin across the table and waited. When she finally composed herself, she looked at me with red eyes. I didn't save you for this. I need you to know that. I know. That's exactly why I'm doing it. I couldn't watch someone die. Even if it meant losing the only chance for Emily. I couldn't. I know that too. That's the other reason. She laughed through her tears. You're either the best person I've ever met or you want something. Billionaires don't just show up and fix people's lives. Actually, we do. We just usually make headlines about it. This time, I wanted to do it quietly. Why? I thought about how to answer that. The truth was complicated. The truth was that in my world, everyone wanted something. Everyone had an angle. Everyone was playing a game. And then a tired waitress in Montana had looked me in the eye and chosen what was right over what would save the person she loved most. Because you reminded me what integrity looks like, I finally said. And I realized my company needed more of it. 2 weeks later, Emily Chen started treatment in Seattle. I made sure she had the best room, the best care, the best of everything. Sophia stayed with her, taking a leave of absence from the diner. I visited on Emily's 3rd day of treatment. Sophia met me in the hallway outside Emily's room. She is sleeping. The treatment makes her tired, but Dr. Wong says that's normal. That it's working. Mind if I sit with her for a minute? Sophia led me into the room. Emily looked small in the hospital bed. 22 years old but fragile in a way that made her seem younger. I could see the resemblance to Sophia. Same dark hair, same determined set to her jaw even in sleep. She knows what you did, Sophia said quietly. Saving you. She was angry at first. Said, I should have let them kill you and begged for Emily's spot in the trial as payment. But that's not who you are. Not who we are. Our parents taught us that you do what's right because it's right, not because it benefits you. Even when it costs everything. We sat in silence for a while, watching Emily sleep. I have a proposition for you, I said eventually. And I need you to hear me out before you say no. Sophia tensed. Here it comes. My company is worth $8 billion. We're developing drugs that could change millions of lives. But somewhere along the way, we lost sight of why we're doing it. We chase profits. We prioritize patients who look good in data sets. We make decisions based on optics and stock prices rather than who actually needs help. Welcome to capitalism. I want to change that. I want someone in my company whose job is to be the voice for people like Emily. People who slip through the cracks. I want to create a position, Director of Patient Advocacy. Someone who reviews our trial selections, our treatment priorities, our company decisions through the lens of who we're actually supposed to be helping. Sophia stared at me. You want me to work for you. I want you to keep me honest. You'd have full authority to challenge any decision I make. access to all our programs and trials, a real voice in how we operate. The salary is $250,000 a year, plus full medical coverage for you and Emily, obviously. I don't have a college degree. I didn't even finish pre-med. You have something better. You have integrity. You have the ability to see people as people, not data points. You made an impossible choice in that diner, Sophia. You chose what was right even though it cost you everything. That's the qualification I need. She shook her head. This is insane. You don't offer someone a $250,000 job because they switched a coffee cup. I'm offering you the job because you're the only person I trust to do it. Everyone else in my orbit wants something from me. You proved you don't. That makes you invaluable. I need to think about it. Take all the time you need. The offer stands as long as you need it to. Emily's treatment worked. Not immediately. The drug took time to show effects. But by week 6, she could grip a cup again. By week 8, she could walk with a walker. By week 12, Dr. Wong was using words like remarkable recovery and unprecedented response. Sophia called me when Emily walked unassisted for the first time. She walked, Vincent. 10 steps. I counted every one. She walked. I could hear her crying through the phone. That's wonderful, Sophia. I keep thinking about that day. In the diner. If I'd made a different choice. But you didn't. I almost did. I stood there holding the cup and I thought about everything I could lose. Emily. Our future. Everything. And I still couldn't do it. I know. I want to take the job. If the offer's still open. It is. I don't know if I can do it, but I want to try. I want other families to have what Emily has. What you gave us. You gave yourself that when you made the right choice. I just evened the scales. That was 8 months ago. Sophia started as Director of Patient Advocacy at Ashford Biotech in March. She's reorganized our entire trial selection process. Fought with our board of directors at least a dozen times. Challenged every decision I make about patient prioritization. She's the best hire I've ever made. Emily is back at university, finishing her degree. Still in treatment, but her prognosis is better than anyone dared hope. She wants to be a neurologist now. Says she wants to help people like her. As for who tried to kill me? Gerald's team eventually traced it back to a rival pharma company that stood to lose billions if Neurostim 7 succeeded. The man in the suit was their VP of competitive strategy. He's awaiting trial. His company paid Ray's widow a settlement to keep quiet, but it didn't matter. The FBI had enough evidence. But I don't think about that much anymore. What I think about is a tired waitress in a small-town diner who saw evil unfolding and stopped it. Who chose right over easy. Who saved a stranger's life and expected nothing in return. I think about how one choice, one quiet, decisive, selfless choice, can ripple out and change everything. Emily will help hundreds of patients in her career. Sophia has already reformed how we select trial participants, giving chances to people who would have been overlooked. All because she couldn't watch someone die over a cup of coffee. People ask me sometimes what moment defined my success. They expect me to talk about my first patent, or taking the company public, or breakthrough treatments. But the truth? The moment that changed everything was watching a waitress switch a cup of coffee in silence, choosing what was right even though it cost her everything. That's the moment I learned what integrity really looks like. And it's the moment I decided to build a company that honored it. If this story moved you, if it made you think about the choices we make when no one's watching, hit that like button. Subscribe for more stories about ordinary people doing extraordinary things. And leave a comment telling me, what would you have done in Sophia's position? Because that's the question that keeps me up at night. Not whether I would have saved her, but whether I would have had the courage to save someone else if it meant losing her. I hope I would. But Sophia didn't hope. She didn't hesitate. She just did what was right. And that made all the difference.